I'm Olivia, and I've been a finance and accounting professional for over 30 years. Picture yourself at a dinner party. One guest mentions they've maxed out their 401k for a decade straight. Another brings up the vacation home they bought last summer. Someone else describes hitting a milestone you've never even dreamed of. And as you reach for your wine glass, you're doing mental math, trying to remember what's actually in your own 401k, mumbling something like great while inside you can't sleep that night, wondering how everyone else figured this out and what opportunities you've missed. Let me be honest with you. Half the people at that table aren't telling you the truth. The guy bragging about his vacation home has had it sitting empty for 3 months, and it's straining him badly. The man maxing out his 401k is hiding $35,000 in credit card debt from his own spouse, and the other half is just as anxious as you are. That nagging worry in your head actually comes from a plan built back in 1985 when houses cost $90,000 and a single income could support a family of four. That plan was designed for an economy that no longer exists, yet we keep internalizing it, and it's what makes us feel like failures by the time we hit 40. Today, I'm going to walk you through what real, up to date 40-year-old milestones actually look like based on current data. Some of it will make you smile, some of it might worry you. But don't worry, I'll also show you how to catch up, even if you're starting from zero. You'll be surprised to learn that late starters who go aggressive often end up ahead of early starters who coasted and relaxed. We call this contribution intensity. And I'll walk you through the math behind it later on. Once you realize this, you'll see that your 40s can actually be the most powerful wealth building decade of your life. Conventional wisdom says that by 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary saved. So if you're earning $70,000, you should have $210,000, but that's not reality. Those benchmarks that make you feel like a failure were created by financial institutions that profit from your anxiety. The goal isn't to outpace someone else, it's to build real financial freedom. Let's look at plans adjusted to last year's actual reality. First, retirement savings, having 1.5 to 2 times your annual salary saved by 40, is a more attainable target. So if you earn $70,000, aim for somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000. Because if you have $120,000 at 40 and never contribute another dollar, at an average 8% return, it'll grow to roughly $780,000 by the time you're 65. You'll be comfortable in retirement. Second, your emergency fund, enough to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in the event of job loss, typically somewhere between $12,000 and $25,000 kept in a high yield savings account. Third, debt. By 40, any 20% interest credit card debt should be completely gone. Student loans should either be paid off or on a clear repayment plan, leaving only a mortgage or maybe a car payment. If you're still carrying a monthly credit card balance at 40, get rid of that burden first. I call it a burden because credit card interest is compound interest working against you. Fourth, your income, your salary at 40 should be at least 30% higher than at 30, adjusted for inflation, because saving is directly tied to your income. Between someone earning $50,000 and saving 20% versus someone earning $100,000 and saving that same rate, the gap grows into the thousands over the years. Building savings in your 40s is actually easier than starting from zero in your 20s because your earning power is higher and your expenses have stabilized. Let me tell you about Adam. By the time he turned 40, he had $22,000 in retirement savings, a car payment, and $8,000 in credit card debt. He was earning $80,000 but barely scraping by, having spent his 30s in the shadow of lifestyle inflation. Over the next 7 years, he implemented a systematic plan that completely transformed his finances. He went through every single expense line by line, found a gym membership he hadn't used in months and unnecessary subscription boxes, adding up to $340 total, refinanced his car loan from 8.9% down to 4.2%, saving another $127 a month, and within 30 days, without a single sacrifice, he'd freed up $500 a month. He then directed all of it toward his credit card debt, targeting the highest interest balance first. 8 months later, the debt was gone, and now he could put $850 a month into savings. He then grew his emergency fund from $2,000 to $15,000, a foundational step in this wealth building journey. Another move he made was immediately maxing out his employer's 401k match, an instant 50% return, and increasing his contribution rate by 1% every 6 months. He then shifted focus to growing his income, working evenings and weekends on a specialized certification in his field, which earned him a promotion and a $22,000 annual raise. Most importantly, he didn't spend that raise. He invested it. 7 years later, at 49, Adam's retirement savings had passed $380,000. His car was fully paid off. His only remaining debt was extra mortgage payments he'd chosen to make. And by 62, he had over $1.2 million in investment assets, stepping into retirement with financial freedom firmly in hand. The plan that made this possible isn't complicated at all. It's simply being aggressive at the right time. Think about it. If you invest $2,000 a month starting at 40 and earn an 8% return, you'll have roughly $450,000 by 55 and around $950,000 by 62. Timing matters enormously. And even at 40, that window is still wide open. Starting late and going aggressive generally beats starting early and staying passive. That's why contribution intensity matters more than time. Many people who feel like they're behind fall into what I call financial paralysis, a negative psychology where they read financial articles, watch videos, but never actually start because the gap ahead feels impossible to close. The way to break that cycle is to take one single concrete action in the next 24 hours. If you're carrying high interest debt, open a 0% balance transfer card. If you have no debt but no savings either, automate $200 from every paycheck into a high-yield account. If you have savings but aren't investing, bump your 401k contribution by 2% today. Starting builds momentum. And don't neglect your career either, because it's the engine driving everything. Make yourself stand out. By 40, you should have a specialized, high-earning expertise in your field, since specialization reduces competition and increases your negotiating power. You should also have a network of 5 people who could help you within 30 days if you lost your job, because having other options means you're never forced to grab the first desperate opportunity that comes along. For those who are already financially stable, the challenge is different. It's not about catching up, it's about avoiding the complacency trap that derails people in their 40s. Someone gets solidly established by the end of their 30s, decides they've earned a little comfort, renovates the house, gets a new car, takes longer vacations, and by 50, despite earning more than ever, they're stressed out financially, again because expenses doubled right along with income. The fix is to regularly recalculate your retirement goals. Back to that dinner party. The guy maxing out his 401k has $350,000 saved, but still owes $500,000 on his mortgage. The woman with the vacation home bought at the market peak and is losing $500 a month on it. The person who mentioned hitting a milestone actually inherited $250,000 from their father and has already spent $50,000 of it. And meanwhile, you're comparing your own behind the scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel and feeling bad about it. Someone at 40 with $50,000 saved, but a 25 to 30% savings rate, is in a far better position than someone with $250,000 saved, but only saving 5% because they'll overtake them within the next decade. If things are going well for you, don't get complacent. 5 more years of intensity could buy you a full decade of freedom. And if you're behind where you expected to be, know that you're in your most powerful wealth building years. Your earning potential is high, your expenses are controllable, and 10 years from now, you'll look back on today either as the turning point where you finally decided to get serious about your financial future, or as another dinner party where you felt that same anxiety all over again. What matters isn't the comparisons. It's what you do next. Remember, this information won't make you a billionaire overnight. But with the right mindset, it can completely transform your financial picture within 10 years. I'm waiting for your questions in the comments, and I read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.